All right, what's up, YouTube? So I've had this forever. I never mentioned, never pointed out. I never even paid attention to the red cars and the one headlight shit early on in my targeting. I noticed it, but I didn't. I didn't. It didn't stick out to me, and I didn't even care. I didn't even. They weren't able to sensitize me to that early on like that. But it's funny because I did notice something's going on, clearly like all the weird shit that was happening, and nobody else thought it was weird, or nobody else was pointing it out but me. So this is one from back, this is from January 20th, 2021. So this is 3 years ago, over 3 years ago. Okay. And I know who the person is, but this is the shit that they would do. Like, let's take a red punch buggy, like a red car, and for no reason at all, for absolutely no reason, I couldn't figure out at the time why he was doing this. It made no sense. Let's just drive it up on the sidewalk. You see what I mean? Like, this is what they would do. And then one day, my son was walking home from downtown, and he did this several times. My son was walking home, and he literally is coming across the sidewalk. So this dude backs his car off the sidewalk, okay, lets my son walk past, and then drives it back up on the sidewalk. And I can only speculate that they did that on purpose, because I was watching my cameras at the time. I watched them do it live, and because it didn't make any sense. They didn't pull up like that to get Wi-Fi, okay? Like, that's not why they did it, to get Wi-Fi or anything like that. Because I had asked this. This is Dustin, is his name. I knew the person. And he would have been somebody who got in trouble, right? A junkie who got in trouble. Absolutely. Plus, he was like, he's like a hacker. Like, this dude knew the inside and out of a computer. He could do all kinds of shit. This is back when I didn't even know what an IP address was. But anyway, he played it off like, like he was just coming to hang out there or whatever at the apartments. But this shit, they would do shit like this. And I have an abundance. I mean, I have stuff documented. I could sit down and go through my pictures and all my shit and show you just countless examples of this shit that I don't care who you are. You're going to say, okay, yeah, that's weird. Okay, there's no one person that could possibly gather this much of a certain thing, the patterns, right? But I learned early on that that's the whole point. That's what they want you to do, right? And I wasn't going to allow them to call me crazy. So I wanted to establish my credibility first, at least. I was not going to let them call me crazy and get me triggered. And no, I just document and keep to myself. Document, keep to myself. I would have people bring up stuff like this to try to get me to talk about it. Like, they did that all the time. They always bring stuff up that has to do with your life. And, you're compelled to be like, yeah, me too, right? Yeah, that happened to me too, okay? Make no mistake, they're bringing it up on purpose. They're just lying. They know what's going on in your life. They're bringing it up because it's going on in your life. And they want you to say it out loud. That's the whole point. And then they'll work on, making you look crazy, calling you crazy. A lot of that happens behind your back. They don't like to call you crazy to your face. They do the crazy talk behind your back. Because if they call you crazy to your face, you're liable to throw a piece of evidence at them that they can't deny. They don't want to risk that. They just want the little pieces of little clips of you saying, about red cars, one headlights, just the stupid shit. Like, if you sit and listen to, like, Nerve did a stream a few days ago where he had some dude from, was it Norway or something came on? And they sat here and he, like, explained all this stuff to a guy who pretended to not know anything about it, right? I believe that they both know exactly what it is, and that was the whole point of his stream, is just to create content that that seems like a normal person that doesn't know anything about it. Because Nerve he only touches on the key points that make TIs look crazy, paranoid. You know what I mean? And he misrepresents targeted individuals, like massively misrepresents us. Like he says, I never ever give him credit for anything, and I do all the time. He never admits that. I go in his voice all the time. He won't admit that. I learn all kinds of shit. He won't admit that. I've learned from him. He won't admit that. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? You can play the game that you're trying to help TIs all you want, but dude, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see through your game, dude. I don't know who you're actually convincing, because I believe the people that you're talking to get on your Jitsi voice, I believe that's a setup. It's like a Phil Hendry skit or something, right? So I don't think you're actually convincing anybody. I think this is so far out there in the public knowledge already that if people haven't heard about gang stalking already, they're gonna real soon. It's right there. It's like, it's one of them things that, like, what, you haven't heard about this yet, And they can only put out so much disinformation before, people start to see the stuff that you can't deny, the questions that nobody wants to answer, the undeniable shit that nobody wants to address. So, conspiracy theories are just that. They're conspiracy theories they're very short-lived, okay? So what happens is they get debunked, you know what I mean? Somebody can easily debunk them. They can't be proven, right? Conspiracy theories can never be proven, or wouldn't be a conspiracy theory. Most of them, though, are short-lived, meaning they get debunked right away, okay? Or somebody gets found out to have hoaxed something, or, something just was, it gets proven to be, an explanation for this or an explanation for that. And then it's still, you hear about it here and there, right? As a conspiracy theory. But that's just the stupid people. The smart people already know, it's been debunked and the information's out there. Now, there's some things, though, that people still call conspiracy theories, right? But to this day, they've been around for a long time. They've stood the test of time, and they haven't been debunked. Nobody can debunk these things. If a conspiracy theory makes it past a certain point, right, and it still is going, and it not only going, but picking up speed, like it's still increasing, still spreading, then 9 times out of 10, that's the truth. I mean, look at it. The MK Ultra, there's so many different conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Those are the ones that didn't get debunked right away, right? They stood up to the ridicule and everything, and then eventually what happened? The truth ended up coming out, and then it's just like the slow drip truth, so that people don't make a big deal out of it then, because like MK Ultra, oh yeah, everybody knows that was true. Everybody knows that was true. And it's like no big deal. If, you know what I mean? If that all would have happened at one time, there would have been some riots and some major protests and shit like that. But the way they slow dripped it, and the way they very, very quietly and very quickly acknowledged the MK Ultra shit without any direct words, and they compensated some families for what they did. President Clinton, did a little public apology to a couple families, and, but it wasn't like on the news, it wasn't something that anybody heard about. If you look for it, you can find it. It's just a quick little press conference where he says there's no way we could ever right the wrongs that you've been done, and whatever. He says something. I'm not quoting him. But anyway, the theory, or the conspiracy theory, okay, of, I'm not going to call it that, of illegally targeted citizens, right? And community stalking, community harassment, that conspiracy theory, yeah, that's real. Yeah, that people do that every day. People get together and they abuse their power and their resources, and they they put covert spy devices like microphones, cameras, and shit like that. They hack people's devices so they can gain all the knowledge and all the information they can off of their target, and then they get together and then they systematically harass them by doing a bunch of legal activities. By themselves are illegal activities. Yes, it's not illegal to drive past my house and honk the horn. But what is illegal is for a group of people to do that with the intent to harass me. It's called gang stalking. It's a felony. Group stalking, group harassment. So that's a real thing. That's a crime, and it happens to a lot of people every day all across the world. So it's not like it's that crazy or far-fetched, right? And what you'll find out whenever you look into it deep enough is it's the same group of people. Everywhere you go, it's the same group of people that's doing it, right? The victims are always somebody that's really isolated. They don't have money or influence. If you got money or influence, you don't fit the bill. You're not a candidate to be targeted like that. It just ain't gonna work. But if you happen to be somebody that is somewhat isolated, somebody that maybe you've done drugs in the past, somebody who maybe you've been to jail, somebody that you have a diagnosis, right? Well, that seals the deal right there. If you got a diagnosis, then it's fair game. But if you're one of these people and there's enough people or the right people that want to target you, all they got to do is whoever their buddies are. I mean, it's clear. What my point is it's clear that the people doing this are public servants. They're people that work in local government. They work in law enforcement, okay? They work in, government. That's the deal. And the reason that they're able to do all this and keep it quiet is because it's under the guise of some public safety program, okay? Or a number of different public safety programs. The programs are disguised as if you looked at it on paper, it would be some community watch program or something, the area development project or something like that, right? And there's money that's allocated for that, grants, but behind, not on paper, there was obviously, this is a known, tactics. It's a known method that people high up have used for a long time. The people that study psychological warfare, the people that study, mind control, MK Ultra, right? They're the ones that came up with this shit. They know how to basically mind control people just through social engineering. You don't even need directed energy weapons, or you don't need, any of that shit, because that shit just sounds crazy. You can do it through plain old-fashioned information and influence. That's it. Information, influence, and the control in the flow of information. You control the flow of information to and from a person, and you influence their environment, right? You can pretty well get them to do whatever you need them to do, if you do it right. It's good old-fashioned mind fuck, right? You got to mind fuck your target. So when you understand this, if you're a targeted individual, that's all you got to do. You got to mind fuck your perps, okay? You just got to mind fuck your perps. You have to think like the perp, and you do stuff to get. You know what they're gonna do, right? According to what you're gonna do, you know what they're gonna do. So, you have to act 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of them, so that you're getting them to react to your movements, right? And then you got to be unpredictable, right? You don't pull your phone out and record them in public, because that's what they'll expect you to do, okay? Whenever you catch some evidence that's hard to deny of gang stalking right in front of your face, and you have it recorded, don't do anything with it. Don't upload it. Just sit on it for like 6 months and then bust it out later on, because then they're not, it's long gone. They're not thinking of that anymore. You can reflect. You can save this stuff. You can go back like I did right here. This car right here. Anybody want to speculate as to why this red car drove up on the sidewalk in front of my apartment building? Anybody? It's just kind of funny, I mean, I don't have any pictures of a blue car doing it or a green car or a red. Just this little red car. Just this little red car. Happens to be a junkie that had got in trouble with the law, right? What do you know? Just saying. So, just wanted to point that out real quick. And one other thing I wanted to address. I think it's Leanne, right? Whatever your name is. The 144, Comanche 144. I saw the video that you put out talking about Chief Handler. My advice to you is just stop. Just say less until you know more. It's like I don't know. Have you ever been to a party, right? And you get these little teenagers trying to come to the party. They want to be part of the party too, but they're just so fucking immature. They have no idea what's going on. And all you can do is shake your head at them, It's like that's what you're doing. I see you make a bunch of videos saying how you're so happy your life has changed since you got away from the TI community, but you keep making videos about TIs every day. I don't understand that. Do you realize you're doing that? Leanne? Do you realize you're doing that? I don't know if you notice that or not, or if you maybe you're just oblivious to it. But the Chief Handler thing, this whole thing, if you were being stalked, if you really were a TI or anything, then you would know that it wouldn't be that easy. That the Chief Handler's your neighbor, okay? It wouldn't be that easy because the Chief Handler harasses people all over the world. This is how I know, okay? Chief Handler is not somebody that's close by to somebody. It's not anybody knows, okay? Chief Handler is somebody who works in maybe the NSA, Homeland Security, whatever, okay? I think he's part of the program, right? He's like the OG of the perps. He's he's the original perp, But this is how I know. I didn't know who Chief Handler was. I didn't know at all who Chief Handler was. I had heard the term handler. This is very early on my targeting when I discovered the very first video I ever posted on my YouTube channel. The only reason I put it up there was so it didn't get deleted off my phone, okay? Now, I never heard of Chief Handler before in my life, okay? But I claimed that the person that got me into this, got me targeted was the chief of police in my town, okay? So with that in mind, the chief of police lived across the street, and I believe it was because I was speaking out about him that got me thrown into this program or whatever. I don't know. But that first video, it caught this chick who she basically tells on herself. She could see herself in her phone because I was recording, but you couldn't tell I was recording, okay? And as soon as I stuck my hand up on the top of this machine, she reacted right away. I didn't even realize that I caught this, okay? Until like 2 months later, I was going through my pictures and I saw it and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And you watch the video and you can clearly see that she's looking up from her phone because she sees herself on her phone, because she sees my screen, okay? She can see my screen on my phone because they got your phone hacked. They follow you around, they control your phone, okay? And then they follow you and then they harass you wherever you're at. It's really that simple. And they learn everything about you because they can see your fucking phone, okay? They can see your screen on your phone. So she tells on herself, like she looks up and she looks down. She looks back up and she starts flipping my camera off. Listen, I could just be any normal person, just sitting there resting my hand with my phone in my hand. She can't tell if I'm recording. But it wouldn't be normal for somebody to just start flipping somebody off just in case they're recording, you know what I mean? I could see how maybe she would like wonder and be like, is he recording me? But you wouldn't do what this chick did. She just immediately starts flipping me off. She puts the visor down. She's in a truck, she puts the visor down in a red truck. And then she goes to come in the store, and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even know I caught this. She like waves to the camera. She like literally waves right to the camera. It's like, you can't fix stupid, okay? There's no way that a regular person would be that convinced that somebody just holding their phone in their hand like that is recording them. But she knew it. She knew it. She knew I was recording. I didn't even fucking know, right? So anyway, as soon as I saw it, I uploaded it to YouTube so that it wouldn't get deleted. That was the first video I've ever posted, and I titled it something like caught gang stalker red-handed or something like that. Caught them with their pants down or something like that. But I put the word gang stalking in it. But it was like 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour. I'm sitting there in my apartment with my son, and I uploaded that video, and I get a notification that quick. Chief Handler commented on my first video, like not even an hour after I posted it. Now, how does that happen? Okay, I can't go find other TIs. You know what I mean? If I type in gang stalking in YouTube, go ahead and type in gang stalking in YouTube and try to see how many new TIs you get. See if you get anybody who posts their very first, gang stalking video. What are the chances that Chief Handler just happened to see that because he's looking for, gang stalking on YouTube? What are the chances, that he comes there in less than an hour and he comments, oh, you're a schizophrenic and this and that? I didn't know that it was who Chief Handler was. I thought it was, Chief. I thought it was, like I said, the chief of police is the one who got me into this. And I knew what the term handler. So I thought it was something he made up. I thought, oh yeah, that's funny. Chief Handler, huh? So it's Chief Schilling, I thought, the chief of police. I had no idea what Chief Handler was until, hell, it was a couple months later. I came across the video of all the TIs, the compilation of all the TIs. They have a message for Chief Handler, There's a bunch of videos, and I think it was Will Worth made a compilation, or somebody made a montage or a compilation of all these TIs, basically, telling Chief Handler to go fuck himself. But when I saw that, right, then I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So this dude's everywhere. So it doesn't, I don't know why people didn't realize that right then, when that video came out, that if he's going to all these TIs, right, how can one person like Chief Handler find all these different TIs who can't even find each other, right? None of these TIs know each other, but he can find all of them. Just like Nerve Gorilla, right? Nerve Gorilla has the biggest, the biggest database, the biggest list or compiling. He's compiled a list of targeted individuals than anybody that I know. I don't know anybody who has a bigger list of targeted individuals than Nerve Gorilla. So not only does he talk shit on TIs, he keeps finding new ones. How does this happen, right? I speculate, but I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me that it's because it's part of his job. He's able to, to see who the TIs are. Maybe because they're on a list that he has access to. I don't know. I'm just saying, if we're on a list and these people are doing this on purpose, then they would share the list, amongst each other, and then they would do this for fun in their spare time, right? The first people I noticed doing this to me were prison guards. A whole bunch of prison guards doing it. To the point where I was freaked out. I thought I thought maybe it was SWAT or something, because this dude was strapping up before he went into the hospital at 11 o'clock at night. And this is after the third prison guard in about an hour and a half, one at a time, spread out over an hour, went into the hospital. When they were closed, nobody came out, and there was nobody allowed in the hospital because of COVID. It didn't make any sense at all. Like, I kept it to myself. I didn't say anything, but I noticed it all. And then the third one, he pulls his truck right in front of me, stops it, pretends to look past me, right? But there's concrete barrier behind me, so I don't know what the fuck he's looking at. He's pretending to look past me. Then he drives around behind the concrete barrier, and you proceed to hear him strapping up, right? He's putting his vest on and all that. And I didn't know what the fuck I thought I was going to get arrested or something. I thought, it's going down. I had my son with me too. Because my mother had just gotten surgery and she was in the hospital. And they kicked us out. Nobody was allowed in the hospital. After 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock because of COVID, even when I did go in, my son couldn't come in. I had to go in by myself. One person, even when you're in intensive care. That's the time frame when this happened. So it was like the summer of 2020, whenever, like the end of the summer of 2020, whenever I finally realized what this was, But they had been doing it for almost a year already. But the prison guard thing, that's the first group of people I noticed that were all in on it, right? A bunch of prison guards. Then the first responders, the firemen. And then the junkies, right? All the people that got in trouble in my town. It's a small town. So all these people that clearly got in trouble, they have warrants and shit out, But they didn't have any problem showing themselves right at the apartments I lived at, across the street from the chief of police's house, okay? They had no problem showing themselves there to harass me. Isn't that funny? Because any other time these people have warrants out, or they got in trouble, you wouldn't see them. They were scared of their own shadow. But I put that pattern together. So all these people that had gotten in trouble one by one, but then they didn't get in trouble, right? And then they're all harassing me for no reason. It didn't make any sense. So I start recording them, right? But I didn't tell anybody I was recording. But somehow they all knew. When I'd hit record, they would turn around and run the other way, like they had an earpiece in. Like somebody was telling them what to do with a fucking earpiece in. Like some of the strangest shit I've seen. Okay, you can't deny it. I'm sorry, you can't. And then there's the shit that nobody has an answer for, like I get assaulted while on the phone with 911. They ignore me. All these things that happen and the cops won't do anything for me. That doesn't make any sense either. The neighbor's dog attacked me. 10 people saw this. My arms were bleeding. I called the cops. They played phone tag. They still wouldn't come knock on my door. They bit my daughter. Her finger was bleeding. These dogs attacked her. And the cops wouldn't do anything about it. Right? They ignored me. They played games. But I watched the cops show up and go in the building next to mine for a good hour. And Kurt Lauber, this idiot, he was in trouble, but then all of a sudden he wasn't worried about showing himself anymore. Convenient, right? And I was taking him to work with me, and he was on the phone, and he proceeded to tell me he was on the phone with an investigator. I'm like, oh, okay. I tried to play it off, and he wouldn't tell me what the investigator was for. I think it was just the handler or something, just to try to freak me out. Whatever, they're just idiots. Kurt is an idiot, so whatever they were trying to do, Kurt probably fucked it up. But we got to talking on the way to work, and he told me about when the cops came to that building that day and went in the building beside me. I saw them go in there. My security cameras, I have the footage of them pulling in and going in that building for an hour. Well, Kurt said, yeah, Travis Schilling, the Chief Travis Schilling, he's a good guy. I've had coffee with him at my kitchen table. Yeah. I was like, oh, really? Did you? Did you have coffee with him at your kitchen table, huh? And he's a nice guy. I could not get the cops to knock on my fucking door. They wouldn't answer me for anything. People could buy my 14-year-old daughter alcohol. I had the alcohol. I had the screenshots. I had her confession. Knew who bought it, where they bought it, what they bought, when they bought it. I went and confronted them, and they assaulted me while I was on the phone with 911. All of these things happened, okay? And nothing fucking got done. Nothing got done. They still wouldn't fucking do anything. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. It makes no fucking sense. So you can try to say that TIs are just paranoid, right? They think everybody's out to get them, but you're just an idiot. I give you rational, critical thinking, situations here. I use my critical thinking. You're allowed to do it too, but you just won't address it, right? So I'm talking to you, Nerve Gorilla, right? You can't keep ignoring this undeniable evidence, or else you're just going to end up looking like the criminal. You don't see that? You don't realize that, dude? Like, I think it's long past that point that anybody involved, I already seen a lot of people back way away from this shit, and they don't want nothing to do with it because they can see that it's an ending game. It's inevitable. Because once you know about this and you learn about this, you don't go back. Once you see that this happens and the people do this, you don't just wake up one day and say, well, maybe not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Once you realize there's no unseeing what you've seen. There's no unknowing what you know. And it's inevitable. Slowly but surely, everybody is learning that this takes place and who's doing it and what they're doing, Awareness is the key. Once everybody's aware of it, then it will stop because they won't be able to do it anymore. Because it'll just be, a bunch of pieces of shit, right? Doing, if they're either doing it or they're aware of it. So you can't get away with it without people seeing who you are and what kind of person you are. You won't be able to get away with it in the shadows anymore. You won't be able to make a live stream and laugh and claim that you're trying to help TIs, right? And they're just so dumb and they don't want to learn anything. Dude, that's just society in general. And you know it, Nerve. Most people are dumb as far as the internet goes. Most people don't understand how any of that works. So you just like to use that to stereotype targeted individuals, right? And then you just pick the script, just the script. You only say the key things that were designed to make, to influence society into thinking that targeted individuals are crazy, right? And they don't want help, right? And they just want to bitch about everything, right? Yeah, right. I've done everything I could do. I called the DAs. I called the Attorney General's office. I sent filed complaints with the Attorney General's office. I called the state police. They all had me calling back and forth. Like I said, it's a game. They're not, they won't do anything. I've tried. And as a matter of fact, you got to be careful calling the cops too many times. If you call the cops enough times to report this stuff and you don't have evidence that, of a crime, proof of a crime, they will put you on a list. And when, say, a crime is committed and you call them and you really do need them, they'll show up under the pretense that you're just making it up. That, like the boy who cried wolf, they do keep lists like that with people that make, false claims and shit like that. So don't waste, don't waste your reporting to the police. Don't waste their time unless you do your research. Okay, if you think that you have evidence of a crime, look it up. Make sure that it meets the requirements, right? To be used as evidence of an actual violation of a statute, right? A legal statute. And then you can just push them. They'll be reluctant to file charges or to file a report, but you just keep pushing them. You just keep bugging them until they do it. It's their job. If they won't do it, then you can go above them and say, here's my evidence of a crime. This person wouldn't do it. And you file a complaint on them. And they'll do their job if you hold their feet to the fire. So, and that's why this is illegal. This is a statute, You can violate this statute if you a group of people knowingly harass or stalk a person, with malicious intent. You're fucked. It's a felony. It's way, way worse than just one person doing it. And the way the environment's going in this country and the way everything's going for police, I wouldn't be surprised if they they take anything they can get anymore just to, because they're nobody trusts the police anymore. They don't call them for nearly as much anymore. So if they get somebody who reports something they can actually charge a crime, they're going to do it, unless it's their buddy, If it's not their buddy and they're not getting paid, they're going to do it. If it benefits them, if it benefits you, it's just everybody has their own agenda and their own motives. So if it doesn't benefit the police, their image, right, or their buddies or whatever, then they'll ignore you. If it really makes them look bad, then watch out, because then they're going to come after you. And they'll try to kill you. They're cops. They know how to do this and get away with it. So don't think that it's not dangerous. But if you're being followed and you're being manipulated and this is being done to you, and you think that it is law enforcement and these people, you need to make videos like yesterday. You need to get your story out there. So if something were to happen to you, there's a record. You leave a record showing, who had a motive, or who you had following you, who was out to get you. If you don't do that, they can spin it however they want. You can end up dead, and they can say, oh yeah, it was a tragic ending to a domestic disturbance, and the victim was, they were showing signs of mental illness online for weeks. They can spin it. So get your story out there. The longer you wait, the more danger you're in. If that's the case, if you do have law enforcement or somebody like that following you around and doing shit like that, well, what's their purpose? What is their intent? Do they want you gone? Or do they just want to fuck with you? Like what, bring it to light. That's what you got to do. Don't be a coward and don't be scared, because keeping it to yourself is the wrong thing to do. If you're scared, you need to get it out there. They'll want to retaliate, but they won't be able to, because that will be your protection. I mean, you got to look at the big picture. You got to realize that. So I'm not saying cause more trouble, piss more people off. That's not what your intent is. So it's not your fault if they get pissed off. What are you supposed to do? You got to look out for yourself. Right? So Comanche 144, just stop. Okay? You said that you got your life back and you're doing so much better since you left the TI community. So to leave the TI community, quit making videos about TIs then. Or if you're gonna, then please stop doing the chaos and the negativity and the stuff like that, okay? It just makes us all look crazy. It makes the whole fucking... This is not a joke. This is not like a funny, fun little community on YouTube. No, people come on here because they're serious, because it's human rights violations. What's being done to people is egregious. Okay? And I get it if you've never, if you're young, and this shit's hard to believe. So if you just have like even just the smallest comparison, or the smallest version of stalking or something, I get it. You want to relate, and you're going to relate to it as well. But the shit that targeted individuals go through, the shit that they do to targeted individuals, is fucking beyond crazy. It's another level out there, okay? Believe me, you do not want to be targeted if you're not, okay? You don't want to be targeted. I wouldn't wish this on Nerve Gorilla, okay? I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I swear, I would not wish this on my worst enemy. That's gotta wake you up. That's gotta make you realize something, right? So please, stop trying to. You're not doing any good. You're not helping anybody. You're not doing anything to help the TI community. If you think you might know who Chief Handler is, okay, what's that mean? That doesn't mean anything. He hasn't done anything against the law. Plus, I've talked to Chief Handler. I had a conversation with him. He was in the military. There's certain things you could point out that you can, damn near assume is true. You know, he was clearly in the military. He gets very interested when you if you're in the military, you bring up certain things about the military. He'll actually engage with you and talk to you about it. You know, he wanted to know what I did and what I got on my ASVAB and stuff like that, because, you know, that's real to him. You know, he's obviously been in the military or is in the military. So if your neighbor wasn't in the military, it's not your neighbor, okay? I don't know the details of what your neighbor did or didn't do. I just got the impression that you were tight with him, and then he talked to another girl or something, and then you got butthurt, and, you know, he rejected you or something, and then you just got mad at him and then blamed him for stalking you and stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I just you said that your neighbor stalked you. I don't know. I didn't see anything. You say a lot of stuff, Leanne. So, can't really, you don't have any credibility whenever you contradict yourself, when you're a hypocrite. You know, don't just come on here and make a video just because you want to be heard, and if you do, then talk about something else. Do tarot card readings, shit. Get yourself a deck of tarot cards and start and go to town. You'll probably get 1,000 subscribers in a week. So, with that being said, this video is for you, Dustin, right? Actually, I think Dustin might, I don't know if he's still alive or not. I think he might have passed away. I'm not sure. But such an ignorant comment condoning this man's horrible... Oh, yeah, whatever. Wait, what is that comment? Marlene replied. So what is this comment here? Condoning this man's horrible behavior towards an innocent baby. What? Oh. It was a comment on a flight. There was a flight where this baby was crying for 45 minutes. And this big adult baby, this big fucking dickhead, he starts making a scene and bitching. He's like bitching at this lady. He's like, "No, I will not calm down." He's like, that fucking goddamn baby's been crying for 45 minutes. And he's like bitching and bitching, and it's just disgusting. You know, so that somebody said, "I don't blame the man. Nobody wants to hear a crying baby. The parents may think that their baby's cute, but nobody else thinks it's cute." And I said something to that comment too. That's why I said, it's understandable to be frustrated, but it's absolutely unacceptable to act like the crybaby that this guy was. So Marlena was not responding to me. She was replying to the fucking original commenter. Let's see. The baby can't stop crying because their eardrums are too sensitive and underdeveloped, and it feels uncomfortable for them when flying. With the air being pressured in the airplane. Act like an adult. If you can't be one, it's not the end of the world. Exactly. That's what I was saying. And this Marlene said, such an ignorant comment condoning this man's horrible behavior towards an innocent baby. And that's true. If you're an adult, you can't, you don't act like a child. It's okay to be frustrated, but don't act on that, because then you're not an adult anymore. You're no longer in control. You got to be smarter than that. If you're going on a plane, just expect that there might be a crying baby the entire flight. Bring earplugs, okay? So with that being said, be good or be good at it. Peace.